If you have been living under a rock for the past month and don't know what Hogwarts Legacy is, it is the much-awaited open-world RPG set in the Wizarding world where the Harry Potter franchise takes place. You play as a 5th-year student at Hogwarts, who recently got their acceptance letter, which is supposed to be very unusual in the universe, and are mentored by Professor Fig from the beginning of the game to shortly after discover that you have special magical abilities.
Oh my god! Wow!
Before going any further, I just would like to mention that I do enjoy this game a lot as a Harry Potter fan. The game did pretty much everything right. The world is absolutely beautiful, giving the players the chance to fully immerse themselves within it by offering a rich and detailed map filled with magical creatures and plants known to fans of the HP franchise, famous locations such as Hogwarts itself, Hogsmeade, the Black Lake and the Forbidden Forest. The castle is, by far, the best representation I have ever seen of it, and is faithful to many scenes from the films, being able to check out some known locations such as the house common rooms, the prefect's bathroom, the library and its restricted section, the room of requirement and many others. You can also free travel on a broomstick throughout the map, something that fans desire to do for a long time, or you can travel via Floo Flames locations, giving the player pretty much free access to the vast majority of the world. The combat is surprisingly entertaining and well executed, with a plethora of spells known to fans such as Expelliarmus and Incendio, although I personally prefer Confringo and Bombarda. I like to blow stuff up. And for the people who wish to flesh out their psychopath alter ego, there are also the unforgivable curses ready to be learned and used however they see fit. But for everything that Hogwarts Legacy does right, the game is severely lacking in one aspect: its protagonist. Yourself or anyone you choose to be, more specifically their relationship with the story. If I would ask you to describe the protagonist without mentioning any physical traits, what would you say? There is really not much to mention, is there? The only thing that you can really say about them is that they are a 5th-year student with special magical abilities. There is no instance in the game where we learn anything about our character that might indicate that they have a personality or anything slightly resembling a backstory. The protagonist is as bland as bread without salt. One could argue that this is the appeal of having custom character creation, that we can play as anybody. This would definitely be true if the game would have actual consequences for the dialogue that we choose when interacting with the characters. Instead, the game gives the illusion of choice, and no matter what line of dialogue we choose, it will still lead to the same result. The only time where this is not the case is for fetch, rescue side quests, where you can decide to give back the item or animal, demand more money or keep the item for yourself, or when completing the Sebastian relationship quest, where you can choose to learn the unforgivable curses or not. Considering what I just mentioned, the character creation is purely aesthetical and does not contribute anything to the story. We, the player, cannot understand or empathize with the protagonist as to why they are doing any of the things that they do, other than being because it's what was instructed or expected to, leading the game to become just a list of bullet points to tick off or be redacted once they are completed. That takes away a big portion of the replayability of the game. Just imagine how different the game would be if the lines spoken by our protagonist would be in line with the personality traits of the player's chosen Hogwarts house. The main story is alright. There is a good premise there in trying to cancel a goblin rebellion led by one with unknown dark powers, whilst unearthing the secrets of this ancient magic. But I found myself not caring at all about the protagonist. It feels like the player is a tool to be used in order to close other characters' arcs. Sebastian's arc, Natsai's arc, Poppy's arc, and even Professor Fig's arc, which was to get closure on his wife's murder. So when the following ending scene came along, I felt nothing.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I mean, why even write that line if it's not going to be impactful anyway? It would work if the protagonist would have low self-esteem or not being confident in his abilities, but at no point do we learn of such. By comparison, in the first few dialogues with Sebastian, we learn that he has a sister who was supposedly cursed by a goblin and that he is trying anything to be able to save her from dying. And while interacting with him, we can definitely tell that he has an aversion towards goblins because of this attack. If the writers could give this background to one of the other characters, why could they not give such to the protagonist? That single ending scene and its ineptitude in hitting home led me to doing this rant. Anyway, I'm getting too carried away with this. Take care, people, and as always, be yourself. Be weird.